All right, parents, I know college is not cheap, okay? And if you have a child or you plan to have a child or have one on the way, then that's probably on your mind. Like, hey, will I be able to afford their education if they choose to go to college? And for some professions, you absolutely have to have a college degree. For others, you don't. And that's a different conversation for a different day. But today, let's talk about how a retro a month could truly set your child up for success and allow them and you to not go into debt to pay for college.
I surround my soul with the positivity. That's why I don't worry about the things that I don't see. Yeah. These days I don't worry about much. I think we should have some more fun. I still dream about the days when we were young. I'll take a hit and still.
What's going on, everybody? It's your girl TJ back. Another video talks with TJ, aka TJ2 Swoosh T Yeezy MA2 TJ, back with a very different type of video. But I think this is, just a good thing for us to have this little discussion about. So I know that college is crazy expensive, right? Like, I was a college admission counselor and I was also a financial aid advisor. Trust me, I'm aware of how fast college costs actually rise in relation to inflation and also the amount of debt that students and parents take on, okay? I still believe the Parent Plus loan is one of the most asinine things you could ever take out, okay? Especially if your child doesn't finish college. And a lot of kids have no business going into college, at least not in the traditional fashion. But for those of you who are sending your kid to college, okay, or you have plans, you hope to send them to college, or it's in their plans because of whatever they want to do. They want to be a doctor or a lawyer or an accountant or an engineer. Those things require you to go and get a degree because a lot of times you're sitting for, bar exams and med school and all of that. You kind of need a degree. So we're not talking about those high extra costs for even the higher education beyond secondary. Let's just talk at least public university. I'll just start there. For private, just know you need to tack on at least double the money, probably 2.5 times the money. I went to a private institution. Trust me, I know it's always more expensive, especially if you choose to send your kid out of state. So if college is something that has to be on your mind, okay, it will not affect me, but it will absolutely affect you if you're a parent and you're in this position. So we know the cost of retros is going up, right? Going up to about $200. Now, I'm talking men's sizing here. That is being used for the example. GS sizes, of course, are just cheaper. They usually range from 140 to maybe 160 on a high end, but a lot of times it's 140 to 150. So we're just going to use a men's retro. Usually 190 unless it's a 1. Now it's going to go up to 200. So keep that in mind. Also, don't complain if you know you're still going to buy the shoe. Just pay the extra $10 and move on. So if it's going up to 200, okay? And a lot of you take L's. I know you do. You complain about it on Twitter. Sneakers app is always trending every single Saturday that people complain they don't hit, okay? So we know that this is the case. For college, however, do you know that it's quite possible start when your kid is born? The first month, okay, they're born. Now, I know you're going to say there's a lot of expenses associated with having a kid. You're right. There are. I wish more people took into account how expensive it is to have a kid, okay? Who you have a kid with, you should probably take into account more. Different conversation, different day. But with the cost of, a child, I get it. It's high, but college is also going to be expensive. So I would rather you plan now, sacrifice now, so it's easier as they get older. So you have 18 years to plan for this. Do not wait until they are a freshman in high school and then you want to start the process of putting money away. That's really just burdening yourself in an unnecessary fashion. All right. So cost of a retro, $200. Did you know that if you took those L's that you take every month, and I know you take L's, let's just say you take an L on a retro, okay, $200, right? If you took that L, you deposited that into a 529 plan, okay? S&P performs really well. We're going to do this example at less than what the S&P has really performed at over the last few years because average it's actually about 10%. I'm going to knock that down to 8%, okay? I'm going to knock that down to 8. We're going to be a little conservative here. Let's just say you took the cost of that retro, $200 every single month, okay? Every month, beginning of every month. When you take that L, put that money into a 529 plan. 529 is a college savings plan that allows you to accrue interest. And yes, you pay taxes, but only once you withdraw it. And just make sure you're using it towards approved secondary education expenses like tuition, books, room and board, and you're good. Things that don't qualify, don't use it. You'll pay a penalty. And whatever tax bracket you're in, you're going to have to pay taxes on that too. All right. We're starting at $0. We're putting $200 in every single month for 18 years. So what does that mean? Do the math and the calculator does it for you. You have contributed $43,200, except do you know what would be in there if you got an average rate of return of 8% over that 18 years? $93,792.62. That's over $50,000 of interest. How does that happen? Compound interest. Now, you may say, well, there's no way that I could ever put that $200 aside like every single month. I just couldn't do that. You could though, because you're already taking the L on sneakers, right? Are you telling me your kid's education and future isn't worth you just putting aside the $200 you already took the L on? Maybe don't buy that consolation sneaker. Maybe think about your child and think about you being able to write the check every semester for the cost of school with no stress, no worries, no loans, no nothing. You're setting your child up for major success coming out of college. At least they're not starting behind the 8 ball. Audit your budget, but you already have the money there because you're taking the L for the sneaker. Unless you didn't really have the money, you're going to put it on a credit card, have to make payments on it. That's a whole different conversation for a different day. All I'm saying is it is very possible to have a retro every single month, easily cover the cost of your college tuition for your child. I don't know that it's ever really been broken down or explained this way, but I decided to do it. So please comment down below if you've ever thought of this, if you're already doing this. Some people already have 529 plans, and the beauty of it, unlike an IRA, you're not capped at what you can put in. Now, once you get to a certain amount and you're taking it out and you're gifting it to a kid, you do have to worry about gift tax, but for most people, that's probably not going to be the case. So please just contribute and start now. The same way I say, hey, take the match from an employer on a 401k or 403b. Hey, can you also just start putting something into an IRA or a Roth IRA? Hey, if you have kids, can you please start to invest in a 529 plan? Okay, throw it into the S&P 500 index and just let it do its thing. Forget about it. Just contribute consistently. Ride the ebbs and flows of all 18 years. Enjoy every bit of your child growing up and you loving them. And when it's ready for them to make a decision for college, it should be a little bit easier, maybe, if you took this approach. All right, this is not legitimate like financial advice. Like, this is what you have to do. It's quite honestly just a thought that ran through my head and thought maybe I would share it with you guys. All right, so if you like what you heard, go ahead, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. I truly appreciate it. And as always, act your age, not your shoe size. Peace.